How's it going, Poke fans? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at the deck from the Birmingham Regionals that was played this week. And this is the deck list from the top 4 that actually Tobias Thesing used to play. It's the Alolan Ninetales featuring Tapu Koko and Tapu Lele. The Tapu Koko is the promo one from the blister pack with the flying flip. Basically, what this card can do is it can simply destroy Gyarados deck. Basically, with flying flip, this attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent Pokemon. So we all know that Gyarados works with the Team Magma Secret Base. And when you play your Magikarp down to your bench, basically your opponent can put 2 damage counters to each Magikarp. And then after that, Gyarados will strike with full retaliation for 30 plus 30 more for each damage counter on each Magikarp in play. So theoretically, with 2 Magikarps, each with 2 damage counters, Gyarados can strike for like 150, 180 with a choice band, which is more than enough for the one-hit knockout against every 180 or 170 HP Pokemon or less, of course. And with 3 Magikarps, it can even go for the one-hit knockout against, for example, Alolan Ninetales. It can go for like 210. On the other side, Alolan Ninetales GX 210 HP, stage 1. With the double cores energy, you can use Ice Blade, and mainly with the Ice Blade, you can snipe one of your opponent Pokemons in play for like a 50. So yeah, it's definitely good. And I kind of like that attack, to be honest. It was definitely very useful and strong. I actually watched few videos from that live stream, and basically it was definitely good against Turbo Darkrai that was played with the Dragonair, mainly because if you want to use Dragon's Wish, you're probably going to find yourself in a position where you're going to play also couple double Dragon energies to your maybe Dragonair, and then you can simply with the Ice Blade knocks out your opponent Dragonair, and then he can lose significantly amount of the damage counters. And of course, on the other side, if Darkrai can't go for the one-hit knockout against Alolan Ninetales, Ice Pad GX can also be used, and it might be even enough for the one-hit knockout against Darkrai. So that's just insanely good card. And also on the other side of the Blizzard Edge, with the advantage of the Aqua Patch, of course, Ninetales GX can easily strike for like 160, maybe even 190 with the choice band, but even better with Kukui, 210 in total. So technically speaking, this deck was also able to strike for like 210, and also to go for the one-hit knockout against, for example, all the Ninetales in the mirror match, or maybe even against, for example, 210 HP Pokemon, or 170 with the Fighting Fury Belt. Overall, 14 Pokemon, 33 trainer cards, and 13 energies. Also, there was 1 copy of Manaphy with the Aqua Tube for that for retreat, as long as you have water energy attached to one of your Pokemon in play. Tapu Lele was here mainly for that Wonder tag, but it can also be used with the Energy Drive for the attack. Unfortunately, no sign of the Psychic Energy, but I would personally at least run one of them for that Tapu Cure GX maybe. You never know where you can find yourself in a position to need to use that Tapu Cure, or at least maybe for the Rainbow Energy. And of course, I already mentioned two Tapu Kokos, and of course 1 Shaymin-EX for the setup. The item card list is pretty much standard, I would like to say that, for the deck like this, but unfortunately, as you can see, there was no 4 V-Seekers, no sign of the Trainer's Mails, so he definitely tried to play less item cards as he can, and that's mainly because the Garbodor with the Trash Launch was a very big deal. We all know that the Garbodor with just a single energy card can strike for like 20 damage for each of your opponent item card in the discard pile. So this is the reason why you really want to limit your item cards in play. So 4 Aqua Patches, attach 1 water energy from discard pile to one of your benched Pokemons, 1 copy of Field Blower. Why 1 copy of Field Blower is enough for a deck like this? Well, mainly because this deck is not reliable on the abilities. So one field blower can definitely be enough. But also on the other side, this deck also runs 4 copies of Rough Seas, so probably in a Stadium War you're gonna be just perfectly fine. 4 copies of the Ultra Ball. Discard 2 cards from your hand in order to search your deck for any Pokemon. It's definitely a good card because it can also discard water energies, and then they can be easily picked with the Aqua patch. And 4 copies of Rough Seas is a very strong play, especially with the Manaphy around, just because you can have free retreat with your Alolan Ninetales from one to the other, plus you can also heal damage counters on the bench, and if your opponent cannot Lysander, you can definitely have a nice day and go so and on in a circle. 3 copies of the V Seekers, put a supporter card from the discard pile back into your hand. As mentioned, very interesting decision to play only 3 V Seekers, but that's mainly because if you play against Garbodor, you really want to rely on your supporter cards, not on the V Seeker for supporter card. And then of course 4 copies of the Rough Seas for the Stadium, and then moving on to the supporter line. Of course, 1 copy of the Hex Maniac. It's a very good card, but also if you get lucky with a pretty good and very powerful setup on your turn 1, and also if you go first, for example, you can simply Tapu Lele for the Hex Maniac and shut down your opponent. Chance to be able to set up with the Tapu Leles or Shaymins or any other Pokemon that can use Drav support like Oranguru with the Instruct. 2 copies of the Lysander, so you can actually switch your opponent active Pokemon with his or her benched Pokemon. Definitely good card, and it's pretty much staple in every deck these days. 4 copies of the Lysander, 4 copies of the N, and also 4 copies of Professor Sycamores in this build. So 8 Drav supporter in total, and 2 semi-Drav supporter, how I like to call Professor Skikui. So draw 2 cards, and also this attack will and attacks of your active Pokemon will do 20 more damage counters. For example, there was Pokemon Fan Club over Bridget, and I actually prefer much more Pokemon Fan Club just because you can search a deck for 2 basic Pokemons, reveal them, and put in your hand, and after that you just need to shuffle your deck. With the Bridget, you're forced to set up 3 Pokemons down to your bench. But with the Fan Club, you can simply search 2 basic Pokemons and put them into your hand, which means that you can simply grab something like a Tapu Lele-GX for the Pokemon Fan Club. You can just grab, let's say, 1 Tapu Koko or maybe Alolan Vulpix, and then still you can grab Shaymin and be able to set up that Shaymin, which is just powerful in my opinion. Plus, Tapu Lele has no weakness and resistance, only 1 retreat cost, and it can also attack with the energy drive, so very, very good combo. And of course, only tool cards in this deck was a Choice Band, so 3 copies of the Choice Band, so the attack will be increased for 30 more on your active Pokemon that Choice Band is attached, of course. But it will be only available when you are going to attack your opponent GX or EX. So if you're gonna attack with your Alolan Ninetales, for example, Tapu Koko, just a regular one, then Choice Band will not work. 13 energies was also played in this build. 4 of them are actually double course energies, and 9 water energies. So that's pretty much it. That was the deck list from the Birmingham regionals, and actually managed to get into the top 4. Once again, congratulations to the top 4 plays. And overall, I really like the Alolan Ninetales card. This deck actually have a very strong matchup against, in my opinion, it definitely have very good matchup against any kind of the fire deck. So Volcanion can be easily destroyed. Gyarados can also be destroyed easily with the Tapu Koko, of course, if Gyarados is not able to set up that Machamp in play. Mirror Match can also be very good because of the advantage of Professor Skikui for 210, so you can easily snipe those Alolan Ninetales for like 210. The only card that I would probably prefer to see in this build would be Sudowoodo with the Roadblock, just in case if you find yourself in a position to play against decks like Mega Rayquaza. Also, it's good against the CJ because you can just force your opponent maybe to discard that extra CJ from the play, which can be very important. Against Garbodor, well, against Garbodor every deck has 50-50 chance. It just depend how lucky you will be to set up without playing too many item cards in the discard pile, but at least you don't have weakness to the Psyche, which is a good one. And I'm not sure what was also tire deck in a Birmingham that day, but overall I guess I managed to cover all of these decks, and yeah, that's the reason why he even managed to get to the top 4, because that deck was just very, very good. In Birmingham, Gyarados won in the finals. Just in case if you don't know, I'm also looking forward to cover that deck list. Once again, thanks for watching, and make sure to hit the likes up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. We'll see you next time. So let me know also what you think about this deck list in the comments below. So have a nice day, and goodbye.